Hi everybody, I want to show you the progress I've made on my corner back here. I titled the video Rounding Third and Heading for Home because that's a tribute to Joe Nuxhall, the longtime Cincinnati Reds broadcaster. And we're sort of rounding the corner and heading to the yard, so that's home. So I already did videos about these two buildings, the Arbenz building and the annex, here's what I called it. These are both pretty much the scale as far as width across the front. Now the Arbenz building was expanded later, double the size. I did not have room to do that. But these low buildings here and these buildings here, I'll show you some pictures of what they looked like. Obviously I did not have enough room to, duplicate those in full scale. It did have a siding there at one time, and the video I did about this when I went to Chillicothe and took pictures of, you can go back and look at that if you want, my research video. But if you look on Google Earth now, they don't have a recent photo, so you can't even see the buildings. It's just nothing but huge trees along here. When I went up last November, right before my knee surgery, it had all been cut down. Everything cut down. It's just bare ground. The rails, you couldn't even tell there were ever ties there, but the rails were shoved back against the buildings there. So I have modeled a spur, and I'll show you that. I'll move the camera and show it to you. But again, I'll put some pictures in here to sort of show you, like, evidently, maybe some of these brick buildings were falling down, walls were crumbling, whatever. So they came in and either covered it or rebuilt it with this one that was like metal siding. And there's a few panels down there. There's a couple of these that are just complete, the whole building. There's other ones just have like panels in them. And I'll put some pictures in here to show you what I tried to model anyhow. Well, I got lucky. They have cleaned this out, and I was able to walk all the way down through here and take pictures of all these buildings. They were probably homeless camps, or as the security guard at the last place told me, meth camps here. And so they just cleaned it all out. So I got some good pictures. There is rail, very old rail, light rail, laying beside the buildings all the way up through here, but you can tell it's a pretty good slope. So they've had to, if there ever was a spur here, they've done a lot of earthwork. But up there where the Arbenz building was, it's a whole lot flatter, and those are actually the only loading doors I saw on the whole in this whole area. It's up there by that big building. First of all, if you remember, I did it opposite direction. So the Arbenz building is the building with the brown roof on the left here. Annex building is to the left of it. And you can see all the trees. This was a recent Google Earth photo. Then all the low buildings are after that. And then there's where you see the white and black sort of alternating. That's the buildings with more of the peaked roofs that I sort of modeled, I should say. And that used to be an old pottery, I believe. So we're going to go to the Mike Pfeiffer shaky cam here. First of all, I wanted some visual separation between it and wherever. So I built a bunch of super trees over the weekend and put some trees in there. Then you can see I've got the spur. That's actually micro-engineering ties. I was originally going to put the rail, it's code 70 rail, pieces in there. It's just too big. It just looks too out of scale. So I just left them off. But you can see I've got junk boards. I've got static grass growing up in between the ties in places. Just all kinds of junk in there. And I'll probably still add more. I need to get some tires. Tires are real common junk that you see. Got a couple scrubby trees growing up here and there. And I just ended the spur right about there. Eventually, it would have actually come around and tied into the main here, but I didn't want to go that far. So the houses in the back are actual houses from the neighborhood, with the exception of the third one from the right. That's actually my grandparents' house. So the top of it. So those low buildings, you could see the houses, you know, on the street, on Washington Street, back behind it. Really on Washington Street, though, most of those houses were single story. So I used a little modeler's license here. And those are houses from the neighborhood, but they're from like adjacent streets and everything. And there's a little one-story house there. You can see the building with the siding on it. And I don't know if you noticed in the video I showed, sometimes they use some blue siding or blue painted siding. I don't know why, to patch holes or something. So I duplicated that. I duplicated where they bricked in some of the what used to be windows, and I've got some more junk around here on the corner. So again, I'm not trying to model it board for board, but it's pretty representative of what, you know, what the area looked like. I think people would probably recognize it anyhow. Over here, this is actually Watt Street. I'm going to have the I'm going to try to incorporate this picture in, but I think I need to make it a little bit smaller. It's too big. Right now, it's as big as the shop buildings, and really, in reality, it's not that big a building, so I need to scale it back a little bit more. And I'll have a grade crossing coming here. You know, I'm going to try to blend that in. I've never done that before. I guess there's a trick to it, but you know, I bought Lance Mendheim's latest book about scenery for industrial shelf railroads. I can't remember the name of it is, but going to try to do that. He talked about using grout for the gravel. Tried it last night. My first experiment wasn't very good because it looks good, but it's loose. It's not dried down good. And then I thought, well, I'll try to use rubbing alcohol and white glue on it, and it did that to it. So that's obviously got to come up. So I like the way it looks, but it needs to be fixed down. It can't be that loose. And evidently you can't fix it down with rubbing alcohol. And my attempt at soapy water, I don't have much luck with soapy water. I don't know if I put enough soap in it or whatever, but it just beads up. You know, when I sprayed it with a bottle with soapy water in it and some matte medium, it just beat it up on top. So that's why you see all those little, it doesn't look very even. So I wasn't real impressed with my first attempt at it, but I'll probably do it again. So anyhow, that's where I'm at right now. And I already showed you the backdrop in the last video where I added the hills back there. So hope everybody enjoyed the video, and I will have finished continue in the yard operations this weekend. Everybody stay safe. Well, let's end the video with a montage of mouse photos. She is the funniest little cat. Sleeps in some funny positions. So hope you enjoy it. Stay safe.